My name is Alexander Garcia, realtor and entrepreneur.
My name is Carlos Gonzalez, and I'm the Real Estate Amigo. This is a podcast where our mission is to inspire and empower our Latino community.
Welcome to Latino Talks.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am Carlos Gonzalez, the Real Estate Amigo, and I am here with my brother from another mother, wearing an awesome t-shirt, an awesome shirt, Mr. Alex Garcia.
Alexander Garcia. Good to see you guys.
What's going on, my brother? How are you?
What's up, brother? Good to see you, man.
I know. It's been even though we have this great synergy, actually we hadn't seen each other in quite a while, man.
You gotta stop traveling, man. You're everywhere, brother.
It's been a few weeks, man. But it's funny because on the last episode we were talking about, we began talking about entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurial mindset and how important it is to have the correct mindset to start in this path that is, something for me is something awesome that I would. I wouldn't do anything differently. And speaking of that, we didn't get to finish, and we'll finish in today's episode. But, speaking of the entrepreneurial mindset and how important it is to have that strong mindset, I know that you've been preparing for something that I would probably never do.
Oh, you will do, brother. I'm going to convince you I'm slowly convincing you to do it.
Yes, which is an Ironman, which I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. So for full transparency, it's not a full Ironman. It's an Ironman 70.3.
Okay.
So it's a half Ironman.
Okay.
Still no joke, man. It's crazy. I am thinking about doing a full, but honestly, it scares the living shit out of me thinking about it. But a half Ironman scared the living shit out of me 5 years ago.
Really?
So it's like, we always have these barriers or ceilings, if you will.
Right.
Thinking, I can't get there. But once you break through, you're like, okay, I'm here. Now what's the next thing?
Right.
And so, yeah, man, I got one coming up. It's actually this Saturday. So I'll be leaving to Hawaii.
This
Saturday coming up. Yep.
Okay.
This Saturday coming up. We leave Thursday to Hawaii. That's going to be on the Big Island. And it's going to be in Kona. It's going to be the same area where they hold the Ironman World Championships.
Oh.
That's obviously for the elite, like the top 1%.
That's crazy.
Far from that, obviously, but still, it's a big deal, man, and I'm really excited about it, brother.
Is this the first time that you're doing something like that, or?
This is the second Ironman 70.3 I've done. I did one 2 years ago here in Oceanside.
Okay.
Figured I'd do my first one in California.
Right.
Represent.
Right. Yeah, stay local.
Yep. And so the next one I was like, you know what? I never thought I'd do another one. I honestly was just like, I just want to do it, get out of the bucket list, boom.
Right.
And what I realized through this experience is that there is so much good that comes from training and these races, whether it's just getting, getting better sleep, whether it's just, feeling better, feeling more energetic throughout my day, staying away from drinking and, the partying and all that. Not that I really party anyways, but I just don't crave it as much, because I have a reason, someone that says, hey, we're going to go out to downtown.
Sorry.
I got to train tomorrow, you know, and I enjoy the training. It's amazing, man. It's just like
it allows
release
you to
of endorphins.
Unplug.
It's like crazy release of endorphins. And then now I just got last year for Christmas, I bought myself a cold plunge.
Right.
And so I'm incorporating that now. And then that's just that to me is just fun.
Now, are you using it, what do you say it was, 11 minutes a week? Are you doing the 11 minutes, or now because you're training more, you're using it more?
I'm still doing the 11 minutes, which is the minimum. Because it's pretty damn cold, man. It's uncomfortable, brother.
Oh, I bet.
But this is all part of like the whole resilience factor, you know. It's
Right,
like
right.
pushing yourself, you're
Taking
pushing
control of your body. Right.
Yep. Pushing your mind and being uncomfortable. Being comfortable with
Constantly.
being uncomfortable, you know. And
Yes.
it really does. I mean, I've always heard people talking about these, you know, motivational speakers, you know, resilience, you know, face your fears. But when you have to wake up, you know, at 7:30 in the morning, you look down at 49 degrees, you know, of
It's
cold
waiting
water,
for
you
you.
got to get in there. You're like, fuck, man, I got to do this shit again. And you know, it's tough, man. But it really, really has made my mind just tough as nails, bro. Like,
Nice.
I see the, you know, difficult tasks that you know, I would have seen difficult before.
Right.
I see them a lot easier now. So I mean,
Interesting.
there's something it definitely does to your mind
Right.
that makes you just say, "Fuck it, this is what I got to do. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it. That's it." You know?
Right. Now, for those of us that are not too familiar, so 70. What does 70.3 represent? Is this? I assume that is some sort of like 70 miles total, right?
Correct. Yeah. So it's 70.3 total miles. So it's a 1.2 mile ocean swim, followed by 56-mile bike ride, and it ends with a 13.1 mile run.
Run. Okay.
So it's all back to back. Takes about it's different for everybody. The first one I did took me 6 hours and 40 minutes.
Wow.
I'm hoping to break that record. I actually something really cool happened. The last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks before the race, you have to part of the training is you have to hit all of those distances.
Right.
Not back to back, but like within that week. So I had
Sure.
to do a 1.2 mile swim 2 weeks ago. I did my 56 mile bike ride 2 weeks ago, and then I did a 13-mile run. And so I hit all my PRs, man.
Okay.
So I broke all my records from 2 years ago.
Oh,
When I
shit.
tried to. So I'm definitely getting faster.
Right.
You know, the muscle memory definitely
Nice.
helps.
Nice.
So I think I'm going to do pretty good, man.
Now, are you doing this kind of training like by yourself, or are you working with the team, or what's the strategy there?
Yeah. So, you know, you can find all kinds of stuff online. So I just found a good coaching program, a good training regimen, and I've been following that myself.
Ah, interesting.
But I do a lot of, you know, my own research on YouTube and stuff. I am part also of the San Diego Triathlon Club here
Okay.
in San Diego, and so they have, you know, regular practices that you can go and you can join them. That's where I got my eye infection that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
2
That's
weeks ago.
crazy. That's crazy.
So it was with them. We did like a little mini triathlon. It was
Okay.
actually a duathlon because it's just two. So it was the swimming at La Jolla Cove, and then we did
running,
a
or-
5K running right after that. But some salt water got into my goggles,
That's crazy.
and I was only in the ocean swimming for maybe 25 minutes. But I could feel it kind of just lingering in my goggle.
Right.
And I could have pulled it off, but we were being timed, so I just ignored it.
Right.
But I got out of the water, and it was just cloudy. Got home that night, man. It was just bloodshot red, bro. My eye ended. It was probably it was the most painful burning that I had in my eye that I've ever
Holy
felt.
crap.
It was. I mean, I don't know what the hell was in that water. Probably something from. I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I had I flushed it with filtered water like 4 times. It was just
Right.
squeezing
Oh, my goodness.
Visine into my eye like there was no tomorrow. Finally went to bed. Woke up in the morning and my eye was just sealed shut, dude. I had to like pry it open.
Bro, I would be like, you know what? This is a sign from God that I'm not supposed to do this. So, you know, let me go order some donuts and
Oh, gosh.
and Oreo cookies and call it a day.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
I
No,
mean,
well-
those are the things they're gonna. You know what I mean? Like those. You know, that's part of life, bro. Like they're gonna be throwing you. Life throws you some curveballs, brother.
And I bet you've experienced like different challenges. I mean, not just that one, but you know, because you know, it's so easy to get hurt nowadays. You know, and especially doing training and you know heavily training. You know,
Right,
for
right.
these kinds of things. So I mean, I assume that you've experienced more stuff besides just that, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, you see stuff in the ocean all the time. You know, I think I've told you I've had like things bump into me in the ocean. That happens all the time. That's kind of normal now. You know, but I just tell myself it's like a fish or something. But honestly, swimming is probably the last thing that people would get injured in. Running is probably the biggest, you know, because it's a
right.
lot more impact, you know, on the legs and
Right.
the feet and stuff like that. So that's why it's important to stretch. You got to stretch really good and all that. But
Have there been times where you say, you know what, fuck this, I'm not doing it?
no.
No, really?
No. Maybe the first time.
Right.
Maybe the first time, but nah, man. Like once I commit to something, I'm just like double down, bro.
Gotcha.
You know?
No, that's
just like
awesome.
when I did the first Ironman, I was just getting out of a knee surgery, and the doctor was like, "Well, I don't know if you're going to be able to run the same, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Fuck that, man." Like,
You're like,
I'm not
I will
gonna
be
believe
able to
that.
run. Yeah.
And like 2 weeks later, bro, I signed up for the Ironman.
Wow.
And I had never done an Ironman in my life, but
Wow.
I told myself, that was like the promise to myself to believe that I could do it and that I would do it.
Right.
You know, that was a commitment to myself. And so I was just kind of reprogramming my mind, convincing myself that this knee will work, it will heal
Right.
up, and it's going to take me to cross that finish line. But
That's
it's
crazy.
mindset, bro.
You
And that's what
were-
we're talking about. We're talking
That's
about
exactly
mindset
what we're
here,
talking
you
about.
know?
You were ordering your mind that that's the way that it's going to operate, and it followed through.
You command your body, brother.
That's
you have
crazy.
To command your body. You do not let your body tell you what. You tell your body what it is.
Oh man, my buddy tells me at 11 o'clock at night that I gotta eat Oreos,
And that's
I
what you're
just,
gonna do.
and
And that's what you're gonna do.
and-
you are what you eat, bro.
I am.
Don't
yeah.
be an Oreo.
Don't be an Oreo. I am an Oreo. Yes. No, that's pretty cool, man, and that's very inspiring. I gotta say, and and how long have you been training for the Ironman?
So
Ironman?
the races, usually if you're starting off, you want to give yourself at least 6 months.
6 months. Wow.
I gave myself 5.5 the first time, and honestly, I don't feel like I was prepared because I actually did end up injuring my shin. I had a fractured my shin. The last mile. It was so painful, man. But I
like your
finished it.
chin? No.
Shin.
Oh, I'm like,
I fell on my face. No, I fractured my shin, and it was just like excess movement, man. Like
Right.
probably not enough, practice,
Right.
but and it was my first one, so maybe I pushed myself a little too hard as well
Right.
during the race. So, but this time around, I actually only had 4.5 months.
oh wow.
But I'm already breaking my
Your
my
records
records
and all
so
that.
I know that a lot of it is muscle memory too. you know?
Right.
My body's already starting to condition itself and get comfortable with the with the pain, with the movement and all that. So it's been a lot easier to practice this time.
No, that's awesome because I mean the way I see it is typically like if I'm gonna take a task like that, typically in the beginning I'm probably hating it, and because you were mentioning that now you sleep better, you're more focused. You like at what point of your training did you started noticing all those things? Was that immediate? Were you hitting it in the beginning and then as things progressed, you started kind of like falling in love with it, or has it been something that you've always loved and you just enjoy it from day one?
Honestly, I think that like the month leading up to the race is probably the most difficult. Is when you want to like quit, not quit, but like you're just like dreading the training.
Right.
The first couple months of training, when you're 6 months out, it's not too bad because you're not having to do too
Sure.
much distance.
Right.
It's just like a couple laps in the pool, maybe a 5K run,
Right.
10 miles on your bike. But once you get up to about a month prior to the race, then you're having to do like I just did a half marathon 2 weeks ago,
exactly.
just for training,
Right.
Not for a race,
Not for
just
an
to
actual
train.
half marathon. Yeah.
And I'm doing 1 mile swims in the ocean like twice a week, and then the bike rides. I just did a 52-mile bike ride 3 days ago, and it's like
Wow.
it's taxing on the body, man, and
Right.
it takes up a lot of time, man.
Right.
So if you got to have the time. So that's why I'm doing this now. I'm
Right.
choosing to do this now rather than later because once you got those kids and a wife is telling you what to do. Hopefully she's not a nagging one, but things change.
Yeah, things definitely change, man. And I mean, it's pretty cool because like you said, it just takes you to it's been taking you to new levels on your mindset. How do you feel that translates into, kind of what you're picking up, because I mean, I get the idea that you're probably feeling a lot more comfortable with yourself in the sense that, you know what, I can do this, and if I can do this, I can do this other thing, and if I can do that, I can do this. How do you think that translates into your business life?
Man, that's a really good question, brother. I think it definitely reminds me that I am the master of my time. And let me explain what that means to me. In my career, my business life,
Right.
Sometimes when I don't get things done, I make the excuse that I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time, and I've told myself now, I've reprogrammed myself to say, that is not true.
Right.
It's that I don't prioritize this enough. That's the truth. I mean,
Right.
if you know you need to do something and you're not doing it, it's because you don't prioritize.
Yeah,
it.
you got other
have the time.
priorities. Right.
You waste your time on Facebook or on YouTube,
Right.
or picking your nose or something stupid,
Netflix or
and it translates because if I can dedicate myself to work out 6 times, train 6 times a week,
Right.
with swimming, biking, running, I have enough time to do that.
Right.
So when I'm not training for an Ironman, I should have enough time to do other things.
Right.
So it's that's probably been the biggest lesson. And I think also the mental toughness is probably the second biggest thing, is like knowing, a lot of times we tell ourselves, you're too tired, or
Exactly.
You do it tomorrow, or you just
Or my eye was hurting like crazy.
Or I just like, I'm not good enough.
Right.
We tell ourselves that lie too. And when in fact you are good enough, you can do it. You're smart enough. But you just you make excuses for yourself. So when you start stepping into the uncomfortable and saying, hey, I can do this, I'm gonna just fucking do it anyways.
Right.
And that's when you just start moving, man. You start grinding. So
That's crazy, man. No, well, congratulations on that, brother.
Thank you, brother.
I'm proud of you on that, because it sounds very uncomfortable.
I want you to do one. You're gonna do one, brother, someday.
I'll do one virtually. I'll be following you on the golf cart.
No. You're gonna do one, bro. I know you will, man. Because
I think I should sign up to do one. But I gotta start with like baby steps, like maybe a triathlon first.
Yeah.
And then because I do enjoy swimming. I enjoy all 3 of those, but it's just that I've never committed,
Right.
and that's my problem. And that's, when my close friends say, all right, how do you describe Carlos? He doesn't commit. Yes, that's Carlos. So I did sign up for a half marathon once, and literally the day off, I signed up with one of my uncles. I called him. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to who you surround yourself with, and we're going to talk about that.
We're gonna
in a
talk
sec,
about that. Yeah, exactly.
You have somebody that's holding you accountable and holding you to keeping your promise and your training.
Right.
You're going to probably do it.
Right. No, that's very true. And yeah, as you were mentioning, this is something that it really ties very well together with what we were talking about last week, what we want to finish this week, which is the entrepreneurial mindset, and we started talking about how, being entrepreneurial is a necessity pretty much in today's world. And what we want to touch on today is, kind of when Alex and I were brainstorming about this, we kind of said, all right, I guess it's sort of like flight instructions. When you hop on a plane, the flight steward, will say, all right, these are the flight instructions for today,
Right.
Don't do this. If this happens, pull this from here, and all that kind of stuff. And I guess for today's episode, we have the flight instructions for, or some set of rules for being an entrepreneur. And the rule number 1 that we put here is that entrepreneurship is not for everyone. And it's completely okay. There are some people that are not wired to be entrepreneurs. There are some people that, if I tell you, hey man, I'm starting this business and it's something that could be pretty cool, but I have zero structure. I'm just getting this going. You know, some people are gonna love it,
Right.
and some people are gonna say, "Hell no!" You know, I gotta see a clear path.
Right.
And it doesn't mean, you know, that one is good and one is bad. It just means that we're just wired differently, and
Absolutely.
sometimes being entrepreneurial is. A lot of people see it as, oh, it's because you know, you're in control of your time. It's such a sexy thing, and Hollywood and all these TV shows
Right.
and you know all these shows about, you know, the wife and I were watching one of these real estate shows, and you know, my wife is like, is that really how it is? And I'm like, no, it's not. You know, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes, absolutely.
And
brother.
and that's the thing about the entrepreneurial life, that it's a lot of peaks and valleys, because you are, you know, you gotta catch what you eat, you know,
Absolutely.
and a lot of people are not comfortable with that, and that is perfectly okay, because this is not. You know, a lot of people, oh, it's because, you know, it's one of those things that you have complete control. It must be so fun because you have so much control of your time. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, but at the same time, if I don't work, if I don't generate income, if I don't do income producing activities, you know, I don't get paid at the end of the month, or I don't get paid, you know, in whatever amount of time. And you know, both of us being in real estate, we know this very well. You know, all right,
Absolutely, man.
I got a few deals that I just closed, and then I don't have income for, you know, for the next month. You know, so
Right.
I gotta figure how to go find some deals that will generate me that kind of income. And one thing that I think there's a big misconception about being an entrepreneur is, and I think one of the aspects that a lot of people don't see is that the outcome doesn't necessarily reflect on the input doesn't necessarily reflect on the output.
Right.
Meaning, if I put 3 hours, you know, working on my business, I'm gonna get 3 hours back in income.
Correct,
You know, as if it was like a 9-to-5 job. You know,
Doesn't work that way.
doesn't work that way. You know, this is, you know, being entrepreneurial is something that you can work on something for months.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you know, get zero out of it, you know, get
Absolutely.
zero money, and you spend, you know, 40, 50, 60 hours a week for several weeks. And then at the end, you know, after 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, you know, you got nothing out of it. Or
Right.
it could be something where, you know, it's happened to me, you know, that you're spending thousands of dollars because, all right, I'm using this strategy and that strategy. And if I use strategy 1, 2, 3, I'm going to generate income. And then, you know, nothing happens because then the market shifts or whatever happens. And it's funny because I heard someone say this recently, that entrepreneurs are in the business of change.
Right.
And that is so right on, because whatever business you're in, you know, us being in real estate, but, you know, financial services or whatever industry you're in, you know, being entrepreneurial on whatever it is that you do, it's something that is, you know, we're chasing something that's always moving, a moving target.
Right.
And we are in the business of change, and it happens so many times that by the time that you zero in on that, you know, target, there you're like, all right, I think I got it. Then it moves.
Something shifts.
Something shifts.
Technology or just, you know,
Exactly.
competition.
I mean, you know, call it, you know, the taxi industry when Uber
Right.
showed up.
Oh, gosh.
You know, the
Biggest
hotel.
disruptor ever, man. Especially in Tijuana, bro. Remember?
Especially in Tijuana,
They were,
yeah.
like riding and
Yeah,
taxi
and beating
drivers
them
were-
up,
yeah,
and
yep.
you know, or hotels, and then Airbnb showed up, and you know, so you know, whatever industry it is that is so true. You know, we are in the industry of change.
Right.
You know, that's the only constant guarantee, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier. You know, we got to be in that particular space where we feel comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right. Absolutely, man. You know, and I see entrepreneurship kind of just feeding off of what you said.
Sure.
You know, entrepreneurship is like a two-sided coin. You know, there's the heads and the tails, but most people fail to see the tails.
Right.
They only see the face, the head,
Right.
the face of the entrepreneurship, which is what? The money, the fame, the nice cars.
Right.
You know, and a lot of, you know, people flash that stuff, you know. But what they fail to see is the tail. The tail side of it is the blood, sweat, tears, and all the fucking hard work that people put into it.
Right.
A lot of people don't push that because, you know, nobody posts, the hard work.
That's
People
that.
post the reward.
Right,
factor,
right. That
And
won't get too many likes.
So you have to understand both sides of the coin if you truly want to understand how entrepreneurship works and how to be successful at it.
Right.
It takes courage, it takes risk, and it takes being comfortable with failing, because you're going to fail tons of times.
Oh, yeah.
Every billionaire out there has failed tons of times.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's definitely so true. It's kind of like like when you see a duck, that it's swimming in the water, and you see that it's so like very cool. But on the bottom, it's
little feet.
Yeah, exactly. The feet are just moving nonstop.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's and like I said, it's not for everyone. And if you're someone that you're wired on, that your brain is wired as far, because I know people like that, that they're like, no, I have to see, I have to see clear,
The final results.
Yeah, the final result.
What am I gonna get?
Things are, how much exactly am I gonna make a year? How much exactly, how many vacation days am I exactly gonna get?
Right.
And being entrepreneurial is, walking in uncharted waters. Well, I mean, swimming in uncharted waters. I gotta say.
Yeah.
I think so. It's one of those things that we really. I mean, and you can always adapt, but it's definitely something that there's a lot of peaks and valleys.
Right.
There's a lot of desert in the process, but for me is highly it's highly rewarded, and I guess that takes us to the next point that we had here, which is choose your hard. It's
Choose your hard.
For me, it's highly rewarding because it allows me to be in a space where I think I can reach my full potential. And and that's something that I don't feel like I'm living the same day over and over, kind of like what we talked about last week about Groundhog Day. But the reason I think we put choose your heart is because we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and it's it's hard starting a business from scratch, or it's hard being in a situation where you're like, all right, I wanna reach X goal by the end of the year. And sometimes it's going to require more than the 8.5 hours a day and your 30-minute lunch break. Right. Sometimes it's going to require, going beyond saying, you know what, I'm not going to watch on Netflix for 3 hours today.
Right.
I'm going to get to work, and I'm going to, find other ways of earning active or passive income. So choosing your heart is so important. And I mean, it goes back to what we were talking about, with your training. It sounds really hard, man. I mean, all the stuff that you're doing sounds really hard, but I'm guessing that your body and your your heart and your every part of your body is being thankful.
Oh, absolutely.
For all that good stuff that you're doing to it. Because
you get used to it. You do get used to it. You get
Right.
used to the heart, and I
Right.
think that's an important part to also understand as
interesting.
well, is that, it is hard. A lot of things are hard, but as you push yourself, you grow. Your body grows, your mind
Right.
grows, whatever it is that you're working on, and you hit a new level, you hit a new ceiling, as we talked earlier.
Right.
And now you can go even further. So now there's a new heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it keeps growing. As,
New
as
levels,
you
new
climb
devils.
this mountain,
Right.
So what was hard is now no longer hard, and that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
You want to be growing. You want to be creatively growing and expanding.
Exactly, because I mean that is a very dangerous place to be in, where nothing is hard anymore.
Right.
And
That's a weak man. That's a weak
exactly.
mind,
There are no challenges. There's no new dragons to slay, and everything is easy.
Right.
So definitely. Being entrepreneurial is making that decision of choosing your heart, and that means, I'm going to take the 11 minute plunges. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, because, the other side of that coin is not doing it and choosing your heart by, your health, not being in an optimal situation.
Right.
You know, like I haven't worked out in I don't know how long, and and I had like this numbness in one of my in a foot, and I'm like, Jesus.
You sure you weren't sitting on the toilet too long?
I wasn't. But it was, you know, I was like, oh my God, like that's not good, man. Like I really gotta, you know, get my circulatory system, my circulation going, and you know, I have to get back on a healthy place, because being unhealthy is gonna be very hard as well.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where we have to choose our hard.
And you will get there, brother. I mean, dude, 4 years ago, I was there. 4 years ago, I was there. You can change things.
I will get there. We have it on tape.
You will get there. Yeah, you will. You're gonna look back at this episode and be like, "Damn!"
Yes.
You're gonna be laughing, bro.
Yeah, the three of us here in the studio, you, Michael, and I, you know, we were witnesses, and I will get there.
But I was there too, brother. 4 or 5 years ago, you know, I was just not in a good place. I was drinking a lot. I was going out and partying a lot, and my body my body hated me,
which is
like, and you know it. You know when stuff goes numb or your back gives out, and, you know what I mean? And like you feel it. Your body's just like saying no to things all the time. Like, can't go up those stairs. You're breathing heavy. You know, it feels like climbing a couple stairs feels like climbing a mountain. Yeah. You know, those are all signs. But someone once said, and it always kind of stuck with me. It says, you know, choose your hard. Mm-hmm. You can either work hard now, or you can lift weights, you know, do exercise, do all these things that initially are hard. Right. But you actually, it becomes easier. Right. Like now I enjoy going to the gym. Right. You know, I'm in a place where I enjoy, you know, running. Maybe not these crazy distances all the time. Yes. But I enjoy the small distance. I enjoy the workouts. I enjoy it now. Right. It's just part of my life. It's like eating, going to the bathroom. It's like breathing. Yeah. Or you could choose your hard later in life when you're 60 and you have diabetes and you're, you know,
hypertension.
The doctor has to tell you have to work out now. Yeah. And you have to change your diet. Yeah. So what do you want? Do you want to choose the hard now? Or you want to choose the hard later? But you're going to have to pick. You have to pick.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we don't think we pick, but we're making that choice every day, because it's not just about choosing your heart or choosing your pain on you know, on the health spectrum. It's also, you know, about being broke. Right. You know, being broke is hard. You know, it's painful. Yeah. You know, working 14, 15, 16 hours a day for an outcome that you know, as what we were discussing earlier, that you're hoping that it's going to work out and that's going to translate into income for you. Yeah. It's also hard, because on the other side of that coin is, you know, being broke and not having money to provide for your family, for, you know, just, we live in such an expensive world nowadays that, you know, even buying groceries, you know, so that is also very hard and very painful as well. So it's a decision that we make on a daily basis. But, you know, sometimes we don't see it as clear because we automatically, you know what, I'm just going to sit on the couch and you know,
snack
watch
on these potato chips.
Yeah, snack on the potato chips. You know, I'm going to sit on the couch and watch TV, as opposed to, all right, how can I use these few hours to maximize my income potential? Right. And that's the whole point on being entrepreneurial. You know, Gary V calls it your 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. Side hustle. You know, use that time, and that's for example, when my wife and I got married, that's one of the things that I you know, talked to her about. I'm like, hey, listen, you know, from Monday through Thursday, you know, you're pretty much not gonna see me, you know, just because I'm gonna be there, but I want to squeeze every single minute of every hour to make sure that I'm doing something that, you know, later in life is going to put us at a better place. That right now I'm planting the seed on that's going to give us fruit, you know, later down the road. Yes, yeah. So that's, you know, for me, that's the goal. And especially because I know that a 9 to 5 is not going to get me there. Right. A 9 to 5 is going to give me stability. Right. But, you know, it's not going to allow me to go to the next steps and you know, to the next level and next level and next level. Right. That's going to have to come from the entrepreneurial side.
Absolutely. I agree with that, man. Yeah. Definitely.
So, I mean, that's you know, that's why I think we have to be conscious about, you know, choosing our heart and always going for the the good heart.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely, man.
And then we had here number 3, entrepreneurship in-flight instructions. We got to get ready to fail, and you touched on that.
Yes,
you touched on that a little bit.
That's a big one, man.
Yes.
And actually, I do have a story I want to share. I think Walt Disney to me is a very inspiring story about failure. And not a lot of people know the upbringing, his childhood. But Walt Disney grew up in Chicago.
Okay.
First of all, Chicago is a rough city already, man.
Yeah.
But grew up in Chicago, 1901, a long time ago. And he always fascinated with drawing. He took drawing classes as a kid. He used to steal his dad's newspapers when he was a kid, and he used to copy all the cartoons.
Okay.
When he turned 18, he started looking for a job as a newspaper illustrator.
Okay.
Got rejected over and over
Right.
at the age of 18. There's a famous quote that you can find if you Google it, where a company basically rejected his application and said, "You lack creativity."
Wow.
To Walt Disney, brother. And so you can imagine what that would do to an 18-year-old boy.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a grown man yet. This is just a boy telling you
right.
lack creativity.
Right.
He doesn't care. The next year at 19, he opens up his own artist studio with one of his friends. Unfortunately, they run out of money within a month, so he has to close it down.
Okay.
Next year after that, at age 20, finally gets hired by a company called Laugh-O-Gram, where they do short films. So he starts getting,
the
diving
movie
into the
industry.
short film, yeah.
Right.
And they were even having trouble within a few months, and they were heading towards bankruptcy. Walt Disney got very creative, again, at the age of 19, and he started writing Alice's Wonderland. Not Alice and Wonderland, but Alice's Wonderland, which is kind of a spin-off.
Okay.
Well, that was the original, actually.
Right.
But by the time he finished, the company had already gone bankrupt, so he couldn't save he was hoping to save the business. Took Alice in Wonderland at the age of 21, moved to Hollywood with his brother.
Okay.
And he said, we got to sell this. We got this awesome script. So they got rejected by numerous producers. Nobody wanted to buy this script. He finally met one producer named Margaret Winkler, I think. She said, I like it. Let's do it. She said they signed a contract. It was the biggest contract he ever had.
Okay.
And which helped him really kind of take off after that at the age of 21. And 6 years later is when he developed Mickey Mouse. He was the first voiceover for Mickey Mouse. And after that, it just took off.
Right.
And I think that's such an incredible story, man, because think about all those times that he got rejected. And I can't help but ask myself, what if he would have just quit?
Right.
At the first time that somebody said at the age of 18, you lack creativity.
Right.
What if he had just quit when he ran out of money with his first company? What if he had just quit when the company went bankrupt?
Right.
What if he had just quit when he went to Hollywood, got rejected, his Alice Wonderland script got rejected multiple times?
Right.
We wouldn't have Disney, man.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man. And so you see there's always going to be people in higher positions
Right.
that are not going to believe in your talent.
Yeah. They're not going to see it.
But at the end of the day, that's just an opinion.
Of course.
It's just
right.
an opinion.
Yeah.
And that's what Walt Disney saw.
Right.
He said, that's just your opinion. That's cool. But I know what I'm worth. I know my value. And
Exactly.
I'm gonna keep pushing.
Right. No, and that's I think we touched on it the last episode. That's where passion comes in, right? Because if it wasn't something that, because there's two things, passion and also instinct.
Yeah.
When you have that instinct that, what, I know that I can do this. I know that I can do this. It's really gonna make things clearer. Right. As opposed to, and it's really going to help you put the blinders on for, when self-doubt tries to, just become a waiter, just go do this, just go do that, You're
not good enough.
You're not good enough.
So whose voice are you going to believe? Are you going to believe all the naysayers? Mm-hmm. Or are you going to believe your own voice in your head that says, no, you can't do this. This is what you committed yourself to. So keep pushing forward, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's a reason why we have that, that instant, because we can have all the, all the education out there, right, but there's going to be a lot of times in life, and, with that, I love that story, because there's going to be a lot of times in life where where that instinct is gonna, everyone else is, you know what, I think you're doing the wrong choice. I think, you know what, but you have this instinct that, you know what, it's gonna pay off, and it becomes, part of you in a way, you know, that you're like, you know what, I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes it might feel like failure.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure Walt felt that he was failing when all these things happened to him. So sometimes it will feel like failure.
Oh, yes.
But as long as you know it to be true in your heart,
right,
that this is something I want to do, I don't care if I fail or not, you're gonna get to that finish line if you keep pushing.
And also how we translate that failure, because
True.
the moment you become an entrepreneur, you automatically enroll into the school of failure.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. Get comfortable with it.
You join the class whether you want it or not.
Welcome to the class of failing.
Exactly. You're part of the classroom, but it's up to us to whether we take it as a failure and, you know what, I'm done. This, kind of like what you were talking about with the eye, I would probably say, I'm done. It's a sign from God. I'm not supposed to be doing this. The universe is trying to tell me something. Or you can take it as an educational process, and get a little better, and keep striving towards that goal. Yeah. So no, I love that. I love that. Yeah. And this is something that we really, like you said, we really have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and with the constant failing. And it's one of those things that, like I said, it depends on us, on how we take it.
Absolutely.
Point number D that I had here is follow your heart. And I think we touched about it, a little bit on the last episode, that if you're like, all right, I want to be entrepreneurial, I want to start my own business, I want to start doing this, I want to start something, but I don't know what. Follow your heart. Or, like you mentioned on the last episode, if you already have a lot of experience on something, rely on it, so that you can take that and, you'll be at a higher, you'll have a head start over, many others out there.
Definitely.
So being passionate about what you want to be entrepreneurial about is key, because, as we talked about it on the previous episode as well, there's going to be instances where you're going to have to put a lot of hours, or, like the example that we were just talking about, you're going to face a lot of rejection. But because it's something that it's deep in your heart, and that it almost...
It's your why.
It's your why. Yeah, exactly. Because it's your why, you're like, no, I'm going to keep pushing forward no matter what everyone else says.
Yeah. And it's when you don't have a why is when it's so easily to just break and fall. And just quit. You have to understand what your why is. Why are you doing this? What is the drive behind this? Is it for your family? Is it for your kids? Is it because you just need to feel that you have success, that you've created something, yourself? So all those things, those are very, very important questions to ask yourself.
Right, definitely. So, follow your heart is definitely one of the rules for being entrepreneurial or having an entrepreneurial mindset. The next rule is never give up. It's
never give up. You got to keep on trying.
Never give up. Adjust, make changes. Get frustrated. Start from scratch as many times as you need to. Cry as many times as you need to punch a hole through the wall.
Men don't cry.
Men don't cry.
Just kidding, we do.
Punch a hole through the wall.
Only on Lion King.
Only on Lion King. But never give up. And for example, when I say adjust, I know a lot of successful entrepreneurs that they started. Many of us started in our industry, and now they were adjusting, and now they're in a completely different industry, and they're uber successful. So I'm not saying that all right, just go back to your day job. No, keep trying to find that that thing that you want to do. That why. And keep adjusting, because one of my favorite movies is I think it's like the Ray Kroc story, the McDonald's guy.
Yeah. Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah, Michael
I
Keaton.
still haven't seen that, man.
That's a great movie,
Is
man.
it?
Because the guy was selling milkshake machines.
Oh, that's how he started.
That's how he started, and
Really?
that's
So
how
it wasn't
he
even
no
burgers.
no. So that's how he landed with the McDonald's brothers. And then because he was trying to sell them milkshake machines, and then
Right.
he's like, oh wow, what these guys have going on here is great. And then and he started, he started there, and he ended up becoming,
Wow.
the guy behind McDonald's.
So he saw the potential.
He saw the potential. So, there's going to be a lot of things that, or a lot of paths where, you're like, you know what, I'm trying really hard, but I'm just not seeing anything. I've been planting, hoping for fruit, and I just don't see anything. So it's, definitely, if you're at that point, definitely change strategies, but keep moving forward. And that's something that, like I said, I know some guys that, they started, doing something real estate related or insurance related. And now they're, one of the guys has a plumbing company. He started in real estate, and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to, this is not for me, but I want to keep being entrepreneurial and have my own business. And I'm going to switch to, see if I can get a plumbing company going.
Right.
And now they're uber successful doing that. So, no matter what, don't give up, adapt, change strategies, cry as many times as you need to, but never, ever, ever give up. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, that when I ask you, like, have you thought about quitting? And you're like, no, because once I commit, I commit, so
no backing down.
So that's the mentality that we have to abide by as well. There's no going back here. It's only,
it's only fail. It's only win or fail. No giving up.
Right. Exactly.
It's the same, like honestly, there was about a month ago, I wanted to give up on this race that I'm doing next week in Hawaii because my elbow got infected. I had to go to urgent care. I was out for 2 weeks, so I couldn't swim. Obviously, it was painful to just hold onto my bicycle bars. Wow! And so I couldn't train for 2 weeks. It put me back. But I was like, no, that's stupid. Like, I'm just gonna keep pushing, and I'll just train harder. I'll just train harder, And if I fail at Hawaii, then that's a different story. At least I tried.
At least you tried.
But I'm not gonna quit halfway through.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's like the saying goes, we haven't come this far to come this far.
Yeah, it's not an option.
It's not an option. Yeah, so that's definitely part of the successful entrepreneurial mindset. To never quit.
Absolutely.
And last but not least, we have it here: believe in yourself and surround yourself by people that believe in you. I think it was Les Brown who said, surround yourself by people that believe in you more than you do. Yeah. And he also has another, I'm a big Les Brown fan, and he also has another quote that says, if you see man for who he is, he will only get worse. But if you see a man as the man that he could be, he will become the man that he should be.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, and it's so critical for us to surround ourselves with the right crowd.
Huge, bro.
With the right and if that means that we have to make the circle smaller.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna turn 40 and I just enjoy my little circle. I mean, 20 years ago, my circle was,
everybody and whoever wants to be a part of it,
And now
it's all popularity, but
exactly. And now it's so small, man. And I enjoy it and I really cherish it. And whatever few moments we have to enjoy and do something extracurricular, it's always that small circle now.
Good for you, man.
Because it's so critical that we surround, as Les Brown mentioned, that we surround ourselves by people that see that potential in us, because sometimes it's going to be those people that, when you're getting ready to throw the towel and say, you know what, I quit, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. It's going to be those people that say, you know what, you can go further.
Yeah.
You can go an extra mile, or I forget who it is that, whenever people would want to quit, he would say, all right, quit, but just not today.
Right. I love that. That's good, man.
Quit, but not today.
Yeah, I think there's three things, in my opinion, that when it comes to who you surround yourself, I think number one is someone who lines up with your values and principles. I think that's extremely important.
Yes.
I love the fact that you're a Christian. That's one of the things when you said, hey, we should explore this idea of a podcast. Right. The fact that you hold more conservative views, the fact that you're a Christian. I align with those things, so I think that's very important. Not to say you can't be friends with the opposite,
right.
But it's easier that way to grow in the direction that you want. And number two is, I think, having people that are honest with you.
Yes.
You have to have people that are honest with you, because a lot of people, we've talked about this in other episodes about people pleasing. Right. I don't want to be around people pleasers. Right. I don't have time for that anymore. I want people to be honest with me. They're going to tell me in my face, Alex, you're doing this wrong.
Yes.
You could do this differently. You're being fucking lazy, bro.
Right.
Tell me in my face. And I think lastly, I think coaching. I think everybody who wants to truly hit that, that top 5%, even 1%, and be the elite in their business, you need coaching. You need somebody 100%. that is holding you accountable, that is following up with you every week and saying, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? What can you do differently? Right. Those three things to me are exceptionally important.
And the thing with the coaching is that it goes, there's so much depth to that, because, for example, I just joined a mastermind, and it's not really the type of mastermind that I would say, all right, it's giving me strategies for real estate and this and that, but it's a mastermind of guys and gals that think alike, and that, they're the best at whatever it is that they do. Right. So because of that, because now you're part of this new community that, you have, guys with all sorts of, and there's like 200 of us in the mastermind, and guys with all sorts of experience that, if you have whatever, when we went to the event, one of the things they say is, whatever issue you have, you're going to find solutions here. Nice. And I love that, man. Nice. And when you're, it's like, I grew up playing racquetball, and whenever I would play with guys that were inferior, my game would not really change. But I was, in racquetball, we break it down from, it's kind of like test scores, from A, B, C, and I would come up to you, what kind of player are you? I'm like, I'm like a C+. So whenever, if I am only playing with C players,
yes,
I'm even if I'm a C+, I will become, I will lower myself a little bit, and I will become like an average C player. Right. But if I'm a C+ player and I'm playing with, with A's, yes, I'm definitely have to improve. I'm going to improve. Yeah, exactly. And that's how it also is in life and in business. Yes. That's why successful people gravitate towards each other.
Yeah, that's so true, man.
So we have to surround whoever. The people we surround ourselves with is so key. I mean, from your significant other, and that's why, huge. And on my end, it took me a while to find my, my spouse, because I really wanted someone that was going to support me all the way, and because that's key. If you don't have the right partner in life, it's really going to hold you down significantly in so many levels.
I call my future wife my ride or die.
Exactly.
If she's not willing to die for me, bro, I don't want it.
Yeah.
She's got to be all about it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Something goes down, she's right there with me. Right. Man. If I get into some trouble, hopefully that would never happen, but you get into trouble, she's got your back. You know what I mean? That's the type of chick I want to be with.
Right.
If not, don't want it. Exactly. Waste my time.
Exactly. And you know that you say, all right, I'm going to jump, and then she says, how high are we jumping? you know?
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah,
You know? Like
vice
I'm not
versa.
trying to be all machista either.
Oh, macho, yeah.
Like I got her back too.
Right.
If something goes down, and she's in a situation where someone wants to injure her or hurt her or harm her, I'm going to be the first one to take the bullet.
Yeah, right. No, and also, like you said, vice versa. All right, what are your dreams, honey? What is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that gives you fulfillment, and how can I help on getting you to that next level? Right. Because I mean, let's be honest, we've been around. We've been around for a few years.
Careful how you say that. It can come across different ways.
yeah. But where I'm getting to is that
You mean we're old?
Yeah, exactly. We're getting close to the midlife section of our lives. But what I'm saying is, many times, you probably experienced this as well, right. And that's one of the reasons why my circle got smaller. When shit hits the fan, 90% of the people out there that you think they're part of your life,
right.
They just disappear.
Especially in the party scene, bro. Like that was
especially
probably
in the party
the
scene.
biggest lesson is like,
yes,
moving to downtown. I was like, I'm gonna fit right in, spend years getting to know everybody in the industry, and then what? At the end of the day, it's like, you feel like you have all these friends, but it's just a bunch of false acquaintances, bro. That are
exactly.
There's just a popularity shit show. That's it. That's it, man.
Exactly.
Nobody's really got your back, bro. The only people that really got your back are the people that are your family and the people that are going to be honest with you, man.
Yep.
Not the ones that are drinking every day and doing drugs.
Right.
Period.
They'll be your best friends at the club, but once those lights turn on,
they're hooking up with the girl, right? They're fuck you. And
exactly.
Find your own ride.
Hey, but we ordered 2 bottles. You ordered 2 bottles. Deuces.
Sneak right out, bro. Before the bill comes.
Yeah, exactly, man. So it's so key for us. This is, being entrepreneurial is a roller coaster, and it's not easy at all. There's a lot of ups and downs, and it's really important for us to surround ourselves with people that are going to ground us, that are going to be there for us, that are going to be cheering for us in the sidelines. And that's, one of the things that I'm thankful about my wife. And I told her once, it's because of that saying, you see a man for who he is, he'll probably get worse. But if you see him as the man that he could be, he will become the man that he should be.
Oh.
And I'm thankful that she sees me as the man that I could be, so that I can become that man that I should be.
That's good. I love that.
And I'll close my part right there.
Yeah,
I think
that's good, bro. Yeah, because we're running out of time anyway.
I think I stayed in the pocket very nicely there. So.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, man. That was actually good. We had some good points there, and I think is that going to wrap up our entrepreneurship mindset?
That's going to wrap up the entrepreneurial mindset episodes, and but we're going to keep digging through the topic a little bit more, entrepreneurial in general. So right. Definitely, guys, stick around. We're going to be going into depth on different areas on this.
All right, let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Boom.
See you guys next time.